What's up, Doom Tubers? It's me again. It's me, the Doom Waves, the Doom Waves guy, the Doom Waves guy, not the Doom guy, the Doom Waves guy. That's me. We're back doing the end of the quarter video. Yay! Snuck up on me. It's the end of March. Today is the 31st. Not gonna beat a game today. Um, it's not gonna happen. Even if I beat a game that I am semi close to finishing, it would count as a replay. So it would not count in what we're doing in this video. So today, of course, if I don't have too many new viewers to the channel, which is totally fine. So you kind of know what we're doing here, but if you don't, let me refresh your memory. We go through the games that I played in the last 3 months. In this case, it was January, February, and March of 2015, and we just kind of pick my favorites of my three of my favorites from those 3 months. Instead of doing a game of the month, since I'm so kind of sporadic as to when I finish games, we're doing instead of game of the month, we do three a quarter, which ends up being the same thing at the end of the year. I still have 12 games to choose from for a game of the year, and for the last 2 years, I've ended up picking three games in that anyway. So it really doesn't matter that much. It's just an excuse to talk about some of my favorite games I've played in the last few months. So 2015, we started off a little slow as far as beating games that I hadn't played yet, but I started the year pretty strong, playing a lot of games. Um, Played quite a bit of Killer Instinct, which I guess I could consider beaten for the first quarter, but I don't know. I still haven't finished all of the story modes or anything like that. So we'll just exclude Killer Instinct from a quarterly choice and just kind of consider it a still in the running for maybe game of the year, since I will probably play it all year. Um, so we'll skip Killer Instinct for now until I can consider it more beaten, I guess. We started off the year with beating Doom on the Game Boy Advance. So Doom doesn't really count. I count it as a game that I beat because it is a port that I beat, but I can't with good conscience pick it for game of the quarter, just simply because it's Doom. I've played it hundreds of times, and I did beat it twice. I got it for Christmas from a one Ducky Do Gaming, and I did beat it on the Game Boy Advance and on the SP, and then I also beat it on the GameCube on the Game Boy Player. So both were excellent experiences. Next up, we beat Kate West, The Vanishing Files for the Nintendo 3DS, a one of the point and click I Spy mystery type games. They're kind of a dime a dozen on the DS and on the PC. There's hundreds of these games out there. They're just hidden object, hidden picture games. I kind of have a soft spot for them for some reason. I really enjoy playing them, and Kate West was, in my opinion, pretty excellent. Number three, DuckTales Remastered. That was a free PS Plus game, I think, in January. And man, oh man, was it good! It was fantastic. Last year, I played and beat the one of the Castle Illusion, the Mickey Mouse game. That got the Redux treatment, and it was pretty awesome. I never played the Castle of Illusion game back in the day, but I loved the remake. It was wonderful. Same with Ducktales. Although in case of Ducktales, I actually did play the original quite a bit when I was a kid, but I never could beat it. There was always certain stages, and I can't remember specifically which one, but I don't think I ever beat the Himalaya stage as a kid. Um, Now that I think about it, I'm not sure I ever beat the Amazon stage either. I could always beat the Transylvania stage, and I could beat the I can't remember where the location of it, just like the one that's in the mine. I could always beat that one, and then I could beat the moon stage. But for some reason, I could never beat those other two. I don't know why. It's weird. Um, but anyway, the remake was wonderful. It was great. Next up was Destiny on the Xbox One, a much maligned game for a lot of people out there in the YouTube community and the gaming community anyway. But I thought Destiny was fantastic, had a lot of fun with it, and it does have tons of replay value. And I am actually, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, think I might be ready to go back. I might be ready to go back and play another character on Destiny. Maybe I should. See if my brother-in-law wants to go forth with that. A lot of fun. First-person shooter with some very light MMO RPG type elements. Not tons, just very light on those elements, but they are there. Next up was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare on the Xbox One. I really wish that I would have played it. In some ways, I wish that I would have played it before the end of last year, because it was a November release, and I did have it. In the case of Destiny, I didn't get it till after the new year, but Advanced Warfare, I actually had it on the PlayStation 3 pretty close to release. I got it back in November, and yeah, I didn't start the campaign just because I was doing other things, playing other things. But I did play quite a bit of the multiplayer back in November, and it was fantastic. But luck would have it, getting an Xbox One for Christmas. My brother-in-law had it on the Xbox One and lent it to me so I could play it on there instead of on the PlayStation 3, just so I could take advantage of the Xbox One, play on there with those graphics. Next up, Doom 2: No Rest for the Living. This was I don't actually remember who made it. I don't know if it was fan made or somebody made it. I don't know. It was a set of 9 maps, using the Doom 2 engine, of course. It's just Doom 2 but new maps, and the guys over at ZeniMax, Bethesda, id, whatever, decided to include it on the BFG edition. It's not necessarily an official, prior to that release, considered canon with the other Doom games, but with its release with the BFG edition, it became an official, kind of like Final Doom. Once it was published by id, it's the real deal. And they included it on the BFG edition disc, and upon beating that 9 map set, you're awarded a avatar costume that is the Doom Guy costume, and that was my primary motivation for doing that. And then with that, and then also beating number 7, Doom 2, Hell on Earth on the PC, I am now, with the exception of the Doom 2 master levels, I am now finished with every single Doom game that there is. Every, semi-official one that there is. Master levels I haven't beaten yet because I haven't found the perfect way to play them yet. I would really like to play them on PC, but for some reason, the PC version on Steam, at least, for the master levels, is considerably more expensive than any of the other Doom games on Steam, and I don't know why that is. It's odd, but whatever. I'll figure it out sometime. And there's not a megawatt for it either. I've looked. There's I can download the maps individually and kind of play them one at a time, but there's not a megawatt, which allows you to kind of play, put them all together and then play them. You finish level 1 and it goes straight to level 2 and so on and so forth. I don't know. I can't find one. I own it a couple of different ways, so I don't feel too bad about downloading a megawatt, but I haven't found one. Number 8, BlazBlue Calamity Trigger Reconstruction. As far as I know, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but BlazBlue Calamity Trigger Reconstruction, I think, is just the story mode for Calamity Trigger, kind of up-res a little bit. Maybe there were some things added to it, but it's on the Continuum Shift Extend disc, and it's just a pretty in depth. I don't know. I guess not too in depth. Story mode for the first Blaze Blue game within this complete version of the second game, and goes through kind of all the anime cutscenes and static image cutscenes that have the text, lots of text. It's pretty much like a visual novel with the occasional fight. You really don't fight too much. It's more visual novel. But it was really interesting and it was really fun as my first kind of foray into anime fighters in general. It was good. I liked it. Next up, Final Fantasy X HD on the PS3 slash Vita. I started it, played about the first 2/3 of the game last year. I've beaten Final Fantasy X before. You all know this. I played the first 2/3 of the game or so last year on the PlayStation 3, and then played the remainder of the game on the Vita. It was wonderful. Loved it. It was good. Number 10, BioShock 2 on the PlayStation 3. One of the videos that I've been dragging my feet on doing, and I don't know why. I do not know why, because BioShock 2 blew my hair back. That game was nice. It was fantastic. It was everything that I loved about the first game, but seemingly more optimized gameplay wise. We're talking simply gameplay wise. Everything I loved about the first game, but seemingly more optimized. And this time you play as a Big Daddy, so it's a little bit different. You got the big drill gun, and it's always out, or your other gun, whichever weapon you're using, it's always out in your right hand. And then you've always got your plasmids available in your left hand. Always. You don't have to, like in BioShock 1, where you have to switch. You can either use your weapon or your plasmids. You got both of them out all the time, so you can do the plasmid and then immediately use your weapon without having to put your hand down and pick your weapon up. It was a fantastic thing, and this was I forget exactly how you get the ability, but I think there's a couple of abilities that you gain, kind of like the tonics or whatever, where you get a drill dash. That means if you have your drill gun out, which is basically your wrench type weapon, you could use it as a melee weapon, or you could pull the trigger and it would actually do the drill thing. But you could do a drill dash that was just like super effective. It just slaughtered everything, and you electric plasmid or freeze plasmid and comboed into the drill dash. So overpowered, so good. But we'll talk more about BioShock in a later video. I knew I was going to do that. I knew I was going to go off on a tangent as soon as I said BioShock. BioShock 2 was number 10 on the year. Freaking amazing. Speaking of freaking amazing, number 11 was BioShock Infinite. I couldn't wait. After I completed BioShock 2, I said, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm going to play BioShock Infinite and see what all the hubbub was about. And I gotta admit, at first, I did not like it as much. Coming straight off of BioShock 2, which I really, really, really liked. The combat style and the shooting and everything just felt like light and dark, like, black and white, different than BioShock 2. It grew on me quite a bit, and like the platforming things that you have to do, because you're up in the sky now using your sky hook to do some platforming and things. Once you get used to the way you move around Columbia and the combat style, it gets a lot better. And the vigors, I know everybody says the vigor takes place of the plasmid, and it's not as good. But it shouldn't matter. You shouldn't rely on things in old games to get you through new games. I'm aware of this. But once you find your niche with the vigors too, they're nice. The Ram vigor did a very similar type of had a very similar type effect as the drill dash that I just talked about from Bioshock 2. So once you kind of get all of the vigors or a lot of the vigors, and you figure out what works well, it gets a lot easier. But the combat is just different. But let me tell you, where Bioshock Infinite absolutely shines is the story. Holy dog shit, is that a good game? Followed up with we'll call it 11A/B, the two DLC episodes called Burial at Sea, episode 1 and 2. Man, oh man, I can't wait to talk in depth about my thoughts and opinions of Bioshock 2 and Bioshock Infinite. Stay tuned for those. I might save that for the podcast. I'm not sure. We talked about maybe doing another kind of Bioshock episode, like a mini-sode, but I'm sure it will end up being longer. Kind of an update to the previous Bioshock Infinite episode, mini-sode that they had done before. Now with Burial at Sea out, a lot of questions, thoughts, and or concerns were kind of addressed in those two short episodes. So it would be really great to be involved in that conversation now and talk more about Bioshock Infinite. So just know that number 11, Bioshock Infinite, it was one of the best gaming experiences I've had. Number 12 was Thomas Was Alone on the Vita. Thomas Was Alone is such a good game. It's a very, very, very simple indie platformer, if you're unfamiliar, where you play as different shaped and sized squares and rectangles, each one with a different kind of ability and different degrees of mobility. And you have to kind of figure out how to maneuver your way through the stages. It's a puzzle platformer. It's a lot of fun. Very short. Also, another great puzzle platformer is one called Limbo, and I also beat Limbo. Beat them back to back. Number 14. Another video that I've been dragging my feet on so bad, and it will have to be a spoilerific episode because I'm not a video game reviewer. Okay, I never said that I was. What I do, if anything, are game discussions, and sometimes you can't talk. For me, sometimes I can't talk and or discuss a video game without some spoilers, which is why I just skip some videos entirely. It's like I don't know what to say. That's not just the game or the point of the game. And Spec Ops: The Line will probably be one of those videos. I would even go as far to say as I would like to have a discussion with someone who has played Spec Ops: The Line to kind of bounce ideas off of and things like that, because it's anything but what the cover of the game looks like. It is absolutely not that. It by all appearances it looks like a super standard military third person shooter, but it is quite the opposite. It is the antithesis. It is not that, and that is the whole point. And it is so good. So look out for that at some time too. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with that. I don't know. I don't know what to do. And then two more. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX Plus on the PlayStation 3. This was like 90 cents in the flash sale like 2 weeks ago. Downloaded it, and I played it for like 15 hours straight. I friggin' love Pac-Man, and Pac-Man Championship DX Plus, so good. So many different kinds of modes, so many different time trials and score attacks. So good, and so worth my 90 cents. And it's the first PlayStation game that I 100%ed. 100% of the trophies. Got them all. And lastly, number 16, I did beat Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, another kind of puzzle platformer game. But this one is quite a bit different. It's I've heard it compared a lot of times to things like Journey, things like that, just because the characters in the game are not speaking English. They're not speaking any sort of discernible language that I know of. and that it's not about that. It's about just the body language, and you use the two thumbsticks on the controller. One controls one brother, the other controls the other brother, and the two trigger buttons, L2 and R2, cause the corresponding brother to react to whatever it is they're standing next to, and all of the puzzles require that they work together, and it is a very very moving experience. It'll take about 3 hours to beat, and it's a very moving experience. And it is not too hard. Not It's not hard at all actually. It'll take you a few tries on some of the puzzles just because you'll mess up. But as soon as you mess up or you're not sure what to do, as soon as you die, you'll immediately see, okay, that's exactly what I needed to do that I didn't do. So it really funnels you into doing the right things. Um, it's a really good game. So looking back on the first 3 months, I really played some bombshell games. Some of them are so incredible, but I have to pick three, and I'm picking four because Bioshock. Really, why am I going to sugarcoat it? Absolutely going to pick Bioshock 2. Absolutely going to pick Bioshock 2. But I'm also going to let Bioshock Infinite and its episodes occupy the same spot because I did play them back to back and they are both Bioshock. So just for the sake of not wanting to pick two games in the exact same series, um, we'll pick Bioshock 2 and Infinite to occupy the same spot because they're both just absolutely brilliant games and I love them. So pick number one is everything Bioshock that I played in the first quarter. Pick number two is Destiny. This was actually a little bit tougher to pick Destiny over Doom 2. But if I'm being 100% honest, I like Doom 1 more than I like Doom 2. I know that's weird to say for a lot of Doom fans out there, but I really do prefer Doom 1. And Doom 2 was great, don't get me wrong. But I had to go with Destiny because I did have tons of fun, and I am looking forward to playing more of this. So Destiny on the Xbox One, and number three will be absolutely Spec Ops: The Line because this game is so much more than a game. And I can say the same thing about Bioshock. There are a lot of parallels. They don't play anything alike, and the stories are nothing alike. But there's a lot of parallels, like to the way I feel or felt after playing these games, felt about them. Spec Ops: The Line is absolutely a one-of-a-kind experience that I do recommend to all people. This is a really short game too. You probably beat this in 4 or 5 hours. But it's got a little bit of value, surprisingly. I think a copy of this still goes for like 15, $20 for a game as old as it is. I think it came out in like 2012. For a game as old as it is that came out on last gen systems, it's still a little pricey. Even for a used copy. So, yeah, those three, Bioshock, Destiny, Spec Ops: The Line. I know lots of shooters, and that's okay, because that's most of what I played, shooters and puzzle platformers, it seemed. I didn't play a lot of RPGs in the first few months, or didn't finish a lot of RPGs, I guess I should say. So, looking forward to the coming months. The next quarter, of course, is April, May, June. Spring and summer, I don't know what I'll be playing exactly. I know what I'm playing right now. I'm not into. I'm sort of getting away from like thinking ahead too far as to what I'm playing, especially because a lot of times I find myself wanting to replay games, and I don't know why that's such a taboo thing seemingly. But I've got a lot of games that I want to play, and a lot of games that I'd like to replay. So much so that I'm replaying one of them right now. Yeah, I'm playing a Bioshock 1 right now. I have no idea why, but I'm having so much fun with it. I want to replay this. I'm about I don't even know where I'm at. I'm at Fort Frolic, but I don't know if that's halfway or what. I don't know. I'm several levels into this and having so much fun. It is a masterpiece of a game and a masterpiece of a series. And ultimately, I think I'd like to beat this and also play Bioshock 2 and Infinite again because that is just such an amazing series. Also, replaying Pokemon Platinum. To some degree, this one's different because I never truly finished this game. I never beat the champion and the Elite Four. I never beat. As per usual, the universe is telling me to shut up because my phone is full now. So, Thanks for watching, dudes. Bye. Doomwaves out.